Welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm Dee.
I'm E.
And we're finally at the season finale of the Kardashians on Hulu. I know,
Finally.
I know. Okay, so you guys already know the drill. We're gonna go ahead and get this out the way because we need a break. We need a break.
What was this episode called? I guess I didn't care much about the episode.
I could not tell you.
Oh, okay. It's called Buckle Up and Let's Go. I have to look that up. I don't
Okay.
know if there was like a reference to it. I'm always like picky like that. It'd be like, oh, they mentioned it. I
Yeah.
don't Oh, actually Chloe did. Never mind. I take it back.
When they were on the bus?
No, when they were discussing, well, we'll talk about it later.
Okay. Yeah.
So the episode is called Buckle Up and Go. Like our other episodes, we're gonna go over each section, break it down, whatever happened, and then probably talk smack. That's what we do. Or give some constructive feedback or some insightful-ish. Who knows? We don't know. But let's get started. All right, so section 1. It's the Kardashians and friends, minus Courtney, and they all got together to celebrate Scott's 40th birthday. The Lord is 40. Lord
Wow.
Disick, actually. Let me correct that. Lord Disick is 40. It was a regal theme, A few people showed up, of course, the Kardashians. I think I saw Malika, the kids.
Yeah.
He seemed shocked. I'm actually shocked myself that they threw him a party. I think that was like the
I
first
think I
time
am too.
ever. So Chloe says that she's jelly that she's not turning 40 because we know throughout the whole season she's been like, I can't wait till I'm 40. My 30s weren't ish. It has to be better on the other side. And clearly, they show on this episode that people in their 40s are living their best life right
Right.
now. So Chloe's a little jelly that, Scott has jumped that hurdle
Yeah.
to the other side. So then they all start playing a game on the table. They all do cheers to Scott, and their speeches are a little anecdotal. Of course, Scott being Scott, he brought up Kim's first magazine shoot, and it was actually, magazine cover, and it was actually for K9 magazine. And they were like, you don't even like dogs. And it was like, I don't know, she was holding like a little sausage dog. I thought it was hilarious,
Yeah.
Kim says that Scott is her motivator. Because the Kardashians are not supposed to be there. Like, how did we do it?
Yeah. Very
Thought.
interesting. I think it's hilarious. Seeing that like the whole roundup at the table, the only other man besides Scott was Corey. And it just kind of seems to me like, there's not really a lot of men in their lives. And so I would like to see Scott like in his own element, like with I don't know, some other people. Like I'm glad he's still a part of the family, of course. But I feel like especially in the beginning of the season, they were like trying to hook him up or get him on a blind date, and there was like this air of sadness to him, and I didn't see it gone. Like this during this episode, like there still seems to be a little bit of like sadness there. And of course, he's always gonna make his jokes, so like
Yeah.
that he always helps to keep them grounded. But yeah, no, it was cute. I like that they did celebrate him and everything. And can't believe, yeah, he's 40. He had a lot of makeup on.
He did? I didn't notice.
That's what it looked like.
Really?
Yeah.
Just looking at this, I do see the sadness that you're talking about. As we know, Scott has gone through like so many things. Of course, probably the love of his life married somebody else that's the love of their life, aka Courtney and Trav.
Yeah.
He lost his parents. I don't know if Rob was ever his friend at this point. Who
Yeah.
knows? he had an accident, so he's had like,
Oh,
back issues and stuff. So I think watching this episode, even though it was very light spirited and they were celebrating Scott, I feel like Scott needs to go away, which makes me sad because he's comic relief. He has been there clearly, like Chris said, since day one, episode one of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
yeah.
But I think also on the flip side, I think that this environment makes him sad. So I don't know how he's going to thrive because clearly, his parents passed away. I don't know his other family dynamic. So the Kardashians are kind of his family, but I
Yeah.
think at the same time they're kind of making him sad of like what he could have had. Courtney's always a reminder if he's still like into her. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about in the previous episode how for Chloe, the chaos with her kids, her family life, and all that, that's what she loves, it's what she thrives in, it's what makes her happy. And I don't know if that's the same for Scott, Maybe it is. I love that most of the time that we have seen him, he's been with, his kids, or he's had at least one of the kids with him. So maybe this is like his time to be, the primary parent. Not to say Courtney isn't, but for so many years while Scott was doing his dirt, doing his mistakes, it was Courtney who was always, the primary parent. So
Hmm.
maybe now it's his turn, and so maybe eventually he'll find happiness again. Um, but I do hope he does, because like Chris said, day one, episode one. So we've seen like the growth, the progression. We've seen everything, and that's something that like still, like I feel like I kind of got a little bit of closure with Chloe last episode, as far as like, oh, I felt so bad for her. I felt so sad for her. Like this last episode, episode 9, seeing her in her element and her like very articulate about, this is my happiness, this is what makes me happy, I don't need to go out and drink, I don't need to go out and do all these things. That made me feel like she's good, she is good, she's happy, she's okay. And
Hmm.
God, we don't have that yet, we
Yeah.
don't have like that sort of a moment.
Hmm.
um and I want that for him, like I really do. I think he deserves it, after everything. He's been through a lot as well himself, and I think he's definitely tried to atone for his own mistakes or whatnot. So I hope he finds a suitable partner who's not 19.
Ditto. All right, next section. We're in New York with Kim, and she's filming American Horror Stories, doing promo, doing all the things Kim Kardashian does. I'm actually really tired of hearing about American Horror Stories. I feel like that was the theme this whole season 4.
Yeah,
So she says that she's going to be in New York off and on for 4 months. It's going to be hard to be away from the kids. She talks to the kids. I
yeah.
think it was North in this particular scene. And then she made mention of Tristan being Uncle Tristan or something. Tristan is an uncle playing for the Lakers.
Does he though?
I don't know.
I mean, Chris got him a job at ESPN, I think it's supposedly. So how's he Laker? Anyway, whatever. I'm not spending time on that.
All right, next section. I have nothing to say either. Um, I mean, I guess Tristan is part of the family, whether we like it or not.
Right?
Family, though, stay over there. All right,
Oh,
the next section. Chloe and Chris are on a tour bus, so they're getting their rock and roll on, their whatever Blink 182 genre is.
okay.
So there's a Blink 182 concert in San Diego, and Courtney, invited them. Chloe is excited Court and Trav are having a baby since they really wanted it. The
Yeah.
producer asked, "Did you guys enjoy the reveal?" And we were met with blank faces. So, why? Chris found out on the news about the pregnancy reveal at the concert. So she knew that Courtney was pregnant, but sorry, that
What
kind
you
of
doing?
scared me.
What
I don't
happened?
know. I don't know.
Something fall?
I think so, or I don't know.
No.
Um, where do I start? Okay,
Blank faces.
blank faces. So the producer asked, "Did you guys enjoy the reveal?" And we were met with blank faces. Why? Not Courtney. Chris found out on the news about the pregnancy reveal at the concert. You know, when Courtney was holding the sign saying, "Trav, I'm pregnant." So
Hmm.
they technically knew, but they didn't know that it was announcing it to the world. Kind
Right.
of. So, you know, Chris was upset. Chloe expressed to Courtney that her mom was upset because she did that. Courtney says, "I forgot." So Chris said, Chris says, she forgot about her family? Question mark. And then she, try to joke around and say, "Oh, that pregnancy brain, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, "Girl, you meant what you said in the beginning." She forgot her family. But we already knew this. Y'all are second family. Trav and his family and her family, immediate kids, are her first family.
Yep.
Now step aside. Um, so then Courtney goes on the confession and says, "It's not about you. It's about Courtney and Travis telling the world." Courtney says that she didn't invite them to stuff because it's all about them. It's all about them and everything that they want. And then they start complaining and stuff. So we see little snippets of that. They're like, "Oh, where are we going? How long is it going to take? Why are we staying here? Blah, blah, blah."
Yep.
Penelope then tells mom, "Oh, please, kind of cover up kind of thing."
Yeah.
And she says that she's so braggy about her stomach.
Oh
Um,
no.
Chris starts to complain on why they're not staying in San Diego, but instead in Del Mar, not Del Mar, Del Mar.
Del mar. Uh-huh.
And then Chloe and Chris made a pact about not complaining, but clearly we see later on, 2 minutes later, Chris is complaining.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I agree with Courtney. It, everything always ends up being about everybody else. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
go ahead. This is a miracle that they're living through right now, Like they should be allowed to like enjoy it on their own in their own terms and like it doesn't it just seems kind of selfish of like, her other fam to like
Mhm.
take it so personally. I mean, they were a part of like the last three kids, like, but this was different. This is all different.
Yeah.
Um, and this is also a different Courtney. Let's not
Mhm.
forget she has evolved. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with what she did. And I think that Chris is a little bit much for me. This ain't about you, man. Del Mar, calm down. Like, calm. And Chloe was trying to check her, but at times I got the vibe that Chloe was almost about to be like Chris.
Yeah, I did too.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I think, man, and I hate to say this, I feel like what Courtney did is something I would do. I usually march to the
Yeah.
beat of my own drum and
That's
tell people later.
yep.
Um, but I think that Chris, just focusing on Chris, Chris really had her momager hat on. And it's like,
Yeah.
hey, this could have been great for the show. I don't think the mom was present. I mean, correction, she had the manager hat on.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
mom wasn't present and being like, "Hey, I'm so happy, blah, blah, blah." Like, why is she getting upset about that? You already knew the news, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I thought it was like, oh, she's upset because she didn't know at all. But
Right.
clearly, we saw in last episode, and it was clarified in this episode that, she already knew. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Either way, it was documented. So,
mhm.
you know, I don't know. It was a little bit much, I think, like the reaction from both of them. I was just kind of like, eh. Because didn't Courtney say that at one point Chloe even told her, "Can you change the date?"
Oh, yeah, to San Diego.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I was like, "What?"
That
Like
is true. They try to make it a thing then.
Chris Jenner number 2 up in that place. Anyway.
All right, next section, we're back in Kim. At this point, I have a headache because we keep going back and forth. Why can't they just make half of the episode in LA, half of the episode in New York?
Yeah.
Because, consistency, the
Yeah.
flow of things, guys. Just for future reference for season 5, if you guys are listening. So we're back in New York with Kim, and she's doing wardrobe, hair, meeting producers, campaigns, promos, social media, all the stuff for American Horror Stories. Kim says that it's like iconic, and she loves doing iconic shit because a producer asked, "Why is Kim doing all this?"
Yeah.
So she basically went from, I want to experience something new and challenges, blah, 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 kumbaya, to it's iconic. American Horror Stories is iconic. And I like doing iconic shit. I'm just quoting her. Kim says that she is also nervous about remembering all her lines. So in the first scene, she's shooting with Emma Roberts. Kim says that she's so nice and sweet. Kim also said that she's out of her comfort zone, but she loves that. But her insecurity is that she is not an actress or an actor. So she just wants everybody to like her and she wants to do her best. And so then we see a little behind the scenes recording of Kim recording American.
You know, I really didn't pay too much attention to that part.
Oh my gosh.
But
Things like this.
but I will say I appreciate and can relate to Kim's sentiments. And that, tinge of nervousness of doing something new, wanting to be liked, wanting to do well, wanting to succeed at it. And despite us knowing this is a multi-millionaire, billionaire person over here who's accomplished and has all these businesses, at the end of the day, she still has some of these very, regular, relatable human moments. So I appreciated that. I think there's a little bit of like,
Remember the Harvard, I said to elaborate, do you remember that Harvard episode where she was talking about possibly having imposter syndrome? So,
yeah,
it was very present here. Be like, hey,
yeah,
I'm not an actress. I can't believe, how did we do this? How did the Kardashians achieve this? So I
yeah,
think, it's always present in her mind because they think, we got all this, but we could also lose all this at the end
yeah,
of the day.
yeah. No, definitely. So I did at the very least, appreciate that and enjoyed that aspect of
Mhm.
things. But that was it.
All right, section 5. Back on the West Coast. We're in San Diego now with the tour bus crew, which is Courtney, Chloe, Chris, and all of Blink 182. So we see their accommodations, and Chris and Chloe are fighting for a room. Courtney says Chris is a control freak, and they all have a little bit of that Chrisness in them.
Yeah.
Chloe calls her mom to the kitchen, and Court is there also. And Chloe was like, "Do you remember at 2:45 you said that you weren't going to complain?" And so, Chris deflecting.
Of course.
Then Courtney asks her mom, "What about you makes you or gives you the need or makes you want to control things?"
Mm-hmm.
Chris says, "I don't know." Courtney says, "You weren't like that in your 20s, but you also had a husband who led the way." I know, kind of.
Yeah.
But Chris agreed and says that she's now the one that leads the way. Courtney says you have to get back to your feminine energy if you desire that. Again, Chris says, when I'm with Corey is heaven, basically implying, maybe she could take a step back. She
Yeah.
doesn't have to make all the decisions, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Then Courtney goes on her tangent, which, I'm going to tell you guys, I was kind of annoyed, kind of understood, kind of wanted the show to be over. I don't know how I feel yet, but we're going to talk about it. But Courtney was like, "No, I mean more being in your feminine, which is self-care, not overthinking, not overdoing." Chris was like, "Squirrel, you have a dimple," because she doesn't want to talk about this. But
No.
Courtney didn't give. She kept on.
Yeah.
So then it goes all into this like reproductive talk about ovaries and the traumas that are passed down. And basically, MJ and her nana, which is probably Helen Kardashian, they passed down these traumas through their bodies because of the ovaries, and they were all born, blah, 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 blah,
The
blah.
eggs.
The eggs, which I have heard things like that before, but I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Let's see. Courtney says that she started a self-awareness journey, but she didn't know what she was doing or what she was going to achieve. She started therapy because of a toxic relationship. I'm thinking it's Scott.
Yeah.
But she's learned so much about herself, her family, why she does certain things, childhood wounds, how those wounds show up in intimate relationships, generational trauma. So this girl is trying to be or is very self-aware at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
Chloe was like, pause, no offense, but why don't just people buckle up and let go? That's where the title comes in.
Oh my God.
And Courtney says, oh, wait. Chloe says, and does Courtney think that choosing bad partners is a genetic thing? Courtney says it's generational and it all started with MJ. So MJ was the target of everything. MJ started this all. Poor lady. She's not even there. Chris says MJ found a great partner in her dad, I guess, or Papa, whoever she calls Papa.
Yeah.
But then Courtney's rebuttal was MJ was married 3 times. At the
I
end,
didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. She's just exposing her grandma
She
left and
really
right.
did.
Yeah. Courtney says that we have all picked people that we thought we could change, but we couldn't, and they didn't. Chris deflects again. They start talking about this thing in the refrigerator for eggs or whatever.
A
Why do I
wooden
know all
egg
this?
holder.
Yeah, the egg holder thing.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. Chris later sends Courtney a video. We don't see this, but Courtney talks about it in the confessional. And it's a video that says that one child in the family does things their own way, and they're the ones who heal the family's generational trauma. So Chris was listening.
Yeah. So,
Superficially, though, I
of
think.
course, I agree. Um. So to just confirm, Courtney is correct as far as every woman, you are born with
Yeah.
all the eggs you'll ever have.
Hmm.
And so, when you're in the womb, they're already being created. So could there be, generational? Yes. And then as far as her self-awareness journey, I love that for her. Like, it's amazing because there's a lot of truth in, the fact that traumas impact the myriad of choices that you made throughout your life. If you
Hmm.
are not, in a good place, it's going to be difficult for you to be able to, make certain decisions. And it really does paint a lot of, like, the choices in your life. So I'm glad that for her, she's kind of, been able to get out from, those issues.
Hmm.
And that she's, like, at the very least trying to spread the knowledge, even if, some people aren't receptive to it. But she's also right. You can't change people. You can't keep trying to change people, especially if they don't want to change. At the end of
Hmm.
the day, if the journey is successful for her, that's great, and really that's all that should matter. Um, I did feel a way when she said that she was in a toxic relationship, because it was just kind of like, did you have to use that, like,
Well,
word?
it's a clarifier. It was saying, basically I joined therapy because, maybe they were in couples counseling and
Yeah,
that's where the therapy started, or maybe that's what the therapist said. You were in a toxic relationship.
I know, but it hurt. I felt
Yeah.
so bad. But yeah, no, I mean,
Well, it does seem like she's always trying to, throw little jabs at Scott here and there, like these little subliminals. So I don't know if she's holding a little resentment there, or maybe we're reading too much into it. Who knows?
right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But in this section, I'm so happy. I guess I could say that. I'm so happy that Courtney is so enlightened and so self aware. But I also think it's a little obnoxious because just because you're in this space, it doesn't mean that people should copy you and do the same things. And I think they talk about it a little later. Like, she'll mention, well, I know my whole family needs therapy, but maybe therapy is not for them, or they have other resources that they use, or, find other ways to heal and be better.
Yeah.
It's almost seems, I don't know, braggadocious. It seems like um, I know better than you because now I'm in therapy and I'm this new person
Yeah.
and traumas and I'm so holistic. And,
Yeah.
she's just like, hey, you've known these people. I think Chloe's 38, her mom's in her 60s. People don't really make big changes at this point. Personalities are set.
Yeah.
Can we adopt some things? Of course. But, just because you're in this space doesn't mean that you need to like make it sound like people are doing the wrong thing because you found your way of doing the right thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get you. And let me put my braggadocious hat on here,
Oh,
a la
go ahead.
Courtney.
Yeah.
No, no. I totally agree with you. I think that when you find something that works for you want to help others,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you see some of these same issues that you had and you see them in other people. You want to try and help them, especially because now you have the tools, right? But at a certain point, you have to know when to pull back
Mm-hmm.
because, like you said, that may not be what works for them. Therapy may not be for them or for anybody, for everybody or whatever. So that's kind of like something that I've had to like learn. I've been doing therapy for a year or a little over a year now. And, I kind of felt the same way a little bit in the beginning where it was like, oh, I wanted to help, all these people. I wanted to give all of this like free knowledge because, therapy's expensive, y'all. So, I wanted to like kind of just relay some of the same information. But I also had to learn and understand that not everybody, you know, really cares to hear that, or not everybody really, feels that that's something that's necessary for them.
Or
And
right time
right.
to
And that's
receive that kind of information.
yeah, and that's the thing too is that you have to and I wholeheartedly promote and refer and recommend therapy to everybody. But you have to be in a place and in a space in time where you're willing to be receptive to some of this information because therapy is not easy. Therapy is one of the hardest things you can possibly do because
Mm,
you're confronted with really harsh truths a lot of the time that you may not want to be faced with, that you may not want to deal with.
yeah.
So it's not for everybody. It can be quite difficult. And if you have other ways of dealing, if you have other ways of healing trauma and getting out of, generational trauma and all that stuff, that's great. But, I think that like that's something that maybe Courtney's kind of, understanding. Like you cannot spend your time trying to fix people, trying to change people. And
Mm,
they have to be willing to like do the work themselves whenever they're ready for that.
yeah. And she did say that later, which, you know, I appreciated because I was feeling some kind of way about this
Yeah.
episode. And, she's done it in the past. Well, therapy did this. Therapy, I mean, I get it. Therapy's helped you, but not
Yeah.
everybody needs therapy or wants therapy or, whatever.
Yeah.
But good for her. Therapy works. She's found her happiness, the love of her life.
Yeah.
Her miracle Rocky, I don't know what number baby, 13 baby. It is what it is. So I don't know. Was Chloe and Chris receptive to this? I don't think so. I think they were annoyed.
What's crazy though? I think that like as far as Chris, it might be a little bit too late. Um, but I think Chloe could benefit from some form. of therapy. Maybe not. It doesn't have to be conventional. Maybe it could be a different sort, like
Yeah.
therapy, something else. Because I think that she does have trauma, and we've seen that throughout the season. Things that she may still be holding on to, resentful about. And so, if you've tried all these other things and it has
Mhm.
not helped, why not try that?
I would say she needs to go to therapy because probably the therapist is the only person that would actually listen to what she's saying
Oh,
because, her family tripping and so are her friends.
yeah.
All right. The next section, we're backstage at Blink 182. We see Atiana de la Hoya. So they're talking a little bit more about Chris's controlling nature. Courtney says that that her fam will benefit again from therapy, but she's learning to let go and trying to change other people and just accepting everyone for who they are. So
Yeah.
we
And
covered.
that's another hard lesson. That's a byproduct of
Mhm.
therapy. That you don't necessarily learn that part in therapy. That's something you kind of just out in the world. You gotta learn. You gotta deal.
So maybe accepting people means that she has to step away from them because
Yeah.
she can't handle their behaviors or things like that. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's making sense more, and I dislike her less this season.
Yeah.
All right, next section. We're back in New York with Kim. It's a 4 a.m. call. I guess
Mhm.
that's what they call it.
Yeah.
She has to start filming and getting ready and stuff. So Kim is telling her family that they're lucky that they could just wake up and film at their house. If we can only be so lucky, and just make money off of that. Kim says that this acting thing is a different beast, or Emma Roberts said that.
Yeah.
So the new director for American Horror Story in this particular section was Jennifer Lynch, and she previously directed some of the Jeffrey Dahmer episodes, which is
Wild.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then in this section, we also see more behind the scenes of American Horror Story.
Yeah. I also didn't pay attention to that.
Did you pay attention to any Kim stuff?
Yeah, what I told you about earlier.
Mm.
Appreciated that imposter syndrome moment. Aside from that, nope.
Okay, I have nothing to say either.
We both not be interested.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's weird. I'm like, I don't know what it was about not yesterday's episode 9 and this episode. I'm like, I'm really watching these girls live their life. Like they're everything that they do on a regular day. Oh, they're having lunch. I'm watching them have lunch. I'm watching them get ready for the Met Gala. I don't know. It really like sunk in. Yeah, like
Damn.
in that episode. I know. I've
15
been
years
watching them
later?
for 15 years. I know. I know.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But it was just one of those moments like, wow, I'm really watching this. I mean, I'm still going to watch it. But I'm like, okay,
Cracking
this,
me up, bro. Wow.
it's just sometimes you have like that ding moment. Like,
Yes, you really
it,
did.
it, it was one of those. It was
Uh,
15 years late, but it
yeah.
was there. Don't hate. Congratulate. All right, next section. We're back in LA. Chris is at Courtney's house hanging out while Courtney is doing some kind of photo shoot. I don't know what she was doing. Courtney says her mom is obsessed with her and her pregnant belly. Courtney says that traditionally there are certain gifts that you give to your husband and wife on wedding anniversaries.
Hmm.
So we see Courtney has collected all these mementos of her and Travis's relationship, things that they've done, concerts, little trinkets here and there. So
Yeah.
she put together a scrapbook and gave it to Travis for their first year wedding anniversary. And
Oh.
then she took it back because she hadn't finished the project. But Courtney then tells her mom that she's having a gender reveal the next day. And if they all want to come, they can come. So then Chris was like, "So you're telling me a day before?" And she's like, "Yep."
Yeah.
And so what?
Yeah. Yeah.
um, Courtney says or claims that she just found out, and it was initially going to be a small thing, but now, haha, get it? All the small things.
Oh my gosh. Stop it.
It was going to be a small thing, but now it's going to be a Baby Barker World Tour gender reveal. Say that 7 times really fast.
No, thank you. um, yeah. I mean, I got nothing.
What? You can't do that.
Well, no, it's just that like I didn't really understand what photo shoot thing she was doing
Me neither. Or her outfit,
or
or
the
why everybody saw her hoo ha. Like, I don't get it.
yeah. I was just like, okay, no, thank you. And then, I do okay, so one actual real comment here. I do like that Chris was there because I don't feel that I can recall a time in which it was
Mhm.
just Chris hanging out with, Courtney.
I
Where,
was thinking the same thing.
yeah, where none of the other sisters were involved. Because even earlier, Chloe was there. So that's probably the one thing that struck me about that scene. And I really like that.
Mhm.
Because it kind of takes away the manager hat and it's like, okay, this is grandma, this is Lovey, right? This is who like the mom really is, just being there and wanting to enjoy the pregnancy and all that. The whole gender reveal being the next day, again, not shocking.
Well, that was the trend. She just tells them last minute, come
Like,
if
hey,
you
this is
want.
this is happening. All right,
Yeah.
cool. See y'all. Don't see y'all. It's all good.
Deuces.
Yeah.
All right. Next section. Chloe's with Chris and they're visiting the Good American store at the mall that they all used to go to. And it's the Good American store is finally opening up for the public. We saw earlier in the season that they were doing all this construction, they were running behind. So it's up and live now in
Yeah.
case you guys want to buy Good American. But I'm not endorsing it because I've never worn it. Okay.
I have.
Do what you want, guys. You have?
Well, I mean, I have the bodysuits. I have 2 Good American bodysuits.
Oh,
I showed them to you, girl.
you did. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Chloe says that she's proud of herself because it's been tough and there was a lot of delays, but she did it. And Chris says that she's proud of Chloe and all that she's achieved.
Um, I I think it's amazing, what Chloe has done with Good American. I can't believe it's been 7 years.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that like it's like a legit business. It's not just like, oh, I'm putting my name on it, kind of thing. I think it's like really amazing what she's done, what she continues to do. I believe she mentioned that, Good American is featured in some real estate, like real real estate, you know.
Hmm.
And I love that. I really think that that's like an amazing thing for her. And it's like it doesn't seem like she has like a million and one things on her plate like Kim. And so she's like, not that Kim isn't dedicated, but like there's like a dedication I feel that comes from Chloe that it's enjoyable just seeing her like, do well, be successful with it. Um
Yeah.
and the longevity that she's had plus the success with it and whatnot. To have a physical store, I mean, that's big, especially in today's day and age where most of the brick and mortar places are closing down. So,
Hmm.
if that's going to be the continuing trend, she'll have more brick and mortar stores. That'll be great. Um, and I'm definitely interested in buying a pair of Good American jeans one day. So,
Yeah. I thought it was interesting that the whole philosophy or the whole thought process was to really have a pulse on the consumer and what they think, and
mhm.
I think they've done a great job.
Yeah,
One particular jean, what was it? The always fits. I
yeah,
think that's genius.
oh
I'm
yeah,
like, "Jeans that always fit.
yeah,
That means I could eat some snacks and still fit in those jeans. That
exactly.
means, I can lose 10 pounds and still fit in those jeans. You're saving me money at the end of the day, if we
Yeah,
really think about it."
amazing. It is.
Yeah.
It's definitely a money saver because those jeans are not cheap, you know? So if you're spending $150 on a pair of jeans, but they can fit you for years, no matter like the fluctuation of weight you may have, that's amazing. And I don't know too many or other really brand that's doing that.
Yeah.
So, I think it's really cool. And like the fact that, it she's not doing all these crazy collabs, no offense to Kim, but she's not like doing all these, outlandish things. It's just kind of the product itself, I feel, it's like really selling on its own. Kind of
Mhm.
like back in the day when Kylie was doing her Kylie lip kits. It was the product itself that was like really selling. So I'm glad that she's had that longevity.
I was going to say this is what Kylie needed to do. I feel like
Yeah.
Kylie maybe is trying to be like Kim, but there's only one Kim that can do the Kim things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kylie went into the Kylie Cosmetics, which was, thriving. I don't see it that much anymore, which is kind of sad because
Yeah.
I thought her marketing was genius in the
Yeah.
beginning. A lot of people were following suit with
Right.
that same kind of marketing and how she was naming things and the campaigns that she was doing.
Yeah.
Um, but we've seen Kylie Skin, Kylie Swimwear, Kylie Baby, Kai now,
Yeah.
which is supposed to be affordable fashion. I don't even know what it is. It's a Kanye dupe for me, a Yeezy dupe
Yeah.
ish Balenciaga vibe. She's just trying, it doesn't seem like whatever she's doing is successful. So
Yeah.
maybe she just needed to focus on Kylie Cosmetics,
Yeah.
like Chloe, and just build from there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's not really, I don't know, there wasn't really much, I think, that like, much that she needed to change as far as
Mhm.
like what she was doing because it was working for her,
Yeah.
despite the fact that like every other month she had a new drop, people were still buying it,
Which are the same colors, by the way. They just had different names.
New name, new package, like that's it. But
Yeah.
that was still like working for her. And so, I mean, hopefully she's able to get back to, what was
Mhm.
working in the past or something new that can work for her. I know that like the primary thing is Kai right now, but
Yeah.
I don't know how long that's going.
Or she just needs to hang out with Kim because Kim, she has 10 million things to do. But I gotta say, whatever she does is pretty successful. I don't know
Yeah.
about her fragrance line,
Oh,
though.
is she still doing that? I
I don't
thought
think she is.
yeah.
And then of course KKW morphed
Right.
into Kin
Yeah.
like Kim. That was just a name rebrand, and of course, vegan this and whatever
Yeah.
products, clean products. But it works.
Right.
I'm just not gonna buy this toilet tissue holder that Kim is selling for skin that's like $180 and is plastic that I can find
Yeah.
at the dollar store in my North
Exactly.
Point.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
So yeah, Kylie needs some mentoring. We're happy for Chloe.
Oh
We
yeah,
hope nothing but the best for her.
definitely.
All right, we finally get this gender reveal in this last section. So the family is making their predictions. We do see Kim and Kylie there, which is interesting because the way it was, rolled out on social media, it was like there was this kind of beef thing
Yeah.
going on, and Courtney just posted her friends, and we were like, oh, well, where's her family? They were all there. This is
Oh
just
no, no, no. That you're talking about the baby shower. This is
that was the baby shower.
yeah. The beef is the
Oh,
baby shower. Yeah.
JK, I was loud and wrong. Let me go back to my notes. All right. So Kim and Kylie were both there, and they both thought that she was having a boy, but they really wanted a girl. Courtney has no feelings as to what she's having. Penelope is so over boys, so she wants a sister. Travis wants a boy. Obviously, we find out with the whole drum roll thing that they had going on that they're having a boy that's not born, Rocky 13. Courtney says that this year has been filled with so many blessings. She's been married for a year now, and now she's blessed with a miracle.
Yeah.
Kylie says that this year has been beautiful, while Kendall says that she's at the beginning of her Saturn return, so her year has been a little crazy. Guys, if you know what Saturn return means, let us know in the comments. I
Yeah.
know that's very like, I don't want to say on trend, but that's very, astrological thing.
Yeah.
And I don't understand my sun from I don't understand my moon from my Jupiter, from my Venus. So just help us out. Where is Kendall? She's in Saturn somewhere, but like, what does that mean? Let us know.
Yeah.
Chloe says that God gives you what you need, not what you want. It all happens the way it's supposed to. She says that the greatest thing that she's learned this year is that nothing can break her or her spirit. That she's really proud of where she's gotten with Tristan.
Okay.
It's hard, but she'll do anything for her kids.
Yeah.
Kim says that this year, in a nutshell, has been very exhausting. She's worked so much, but it's been so worth it. The producer asks Kim that she's been single for a year. Is she looking forward to another year of being single? Kim says, absolutely.
Okay.
And Chris says that this year has been a year where she only says yes to things that she loves, and she's going to stick with it. And that's the end of the season.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
That's all you got? Okay, yeah, great.
I mean, like,
Final thoughts on the season, on this little section.
well,
Per sister.
with this last section, I thought it was cute. The whole gender reveal thing with the backstage passes, the wrist thing. That was
That
really
was cute.
yeah. And I love like when they have all the kids there, and it's like a big old like family affair. Um, and I don't know what a Saturn return is. I know there's a car called Saturn, um, and then there's a planet called Saturn. That's all I know. And Kim did have a very busy year. I'm tired for her. Um, I don't really know what Chris did, so I'm just not say nothing there. And the season as a whole for me
Was a dud.
was not memorable. Like,
Mm. You know why? Because there wasn't any fights. Because they
yeah, of
dragged out
course.
that whole Dolce and Gabbana
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Courtney said, "Peace out. I'm done with y'all." Like
yeah,
for real, for real. So we only saw snippets of her.
right.
And like, what was the real premise of this whole season? Nothing.
Nothing really, aside from, once again, yet another season where the Jenner sisters are
A
nowhere to
flop.
be found. Yeah, like, no.
I mean, the most that we got was Kylie saying that she's kind of found her groove back, more or less.
Without any explanation, no thank
I,
you.
I said that's the most we got. Don't get mad at me. I'm not a Kardashian or Jenner.
Um,
So,
and then my, like, I guess, yeah, my final thought, pay Chloe, because this was her season. Y'all put her through everything. Pay her. That's it. I'm done.
well, you summed it up for me, so I don't really have anything more to say.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think Kim needs to chill. Girl, you made it. Got it. Just relax.
You you got the
Just
money. Take like a month off, bro. Like the world won't
yeah,
stop
but
revolving.
some people thrive on being busy and like
True.
doing things. So maybe this is her happiness. I think it is.
Yeah, yeah,
Chloe's happiness are her kids.
yeah.
Bring back Rob Kardashian. Let's see what he's up to.
Mm, no comment.
I mean, I just need like some spice. Like what's gonna be on the next season? I don't know. Like it's so boring.
Unless you're gonna talk about Bad Bunny, like, and
Oh
Kendall's
yeah,
not about to share her
Bad
life.
Bunnies.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's been no, substantial like headlines or whatever. I mean, there was Courtney's situation with her baby when she was pregnant. I don't know
Okay.
if she's really gonna cover that. It seems very delicate. Um, but
Maybe they want it for awareness purposes.
yeah, maybe.
They can't drag that along. Maybe it's the Kim GQ of the year thing and her multiple man of the year and her multiple magazine covers at this point.
And all of her other business endeavors and side hustles and,
Mhm.
second, third, hundredth jobs.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because aside from that, I mean, really, there hasn't been anything crazy. Like, maybe they're not making the same headlines they used to make.
Yeah. And Trish Trash was on his apology tour. So that kind of like, I want to say, brings it full circle at this point
Yeah.
after 3 years or so. The whole incident with Jordan and all that, and him like snaking back into the family, and the apologies to the sisters, and that
Yeah.
half-ass apology to Jordan. So like that, there's no real storyline besides Tristan wanting to get her back.
Yeah.
So that's done.
Yeah. That's it.
Obviously, we're not going to talk about, unless Kim has a boyfriend, maybe. But she says she wants to be single, so maybe that's out.
Well, if we know anything, we know that the devil works hard. The Kris Jenner works harder. So Kim might be getting a boyfriend right around the time for season 5 to come along.
Mm. Or maybe we'll see Timothée.
Girl, we not. Stop playing.
I don't know. I'm just, yeah, you're right. The Jenners are a flop. They're a disappointment. Just cut them out. Like they're just a waste of space. These episodes are like 40 minutes long. You inserting them like only makes it longer. So it could be 39 minutes because we know that they're featured for a minute. Save me that extra minute, guys. Save me that minute.
Well, that went sideways real fast. I think we're done here, guys.
But let us know what you think in the comments about this episode and this whole season. Was it a
Yeah.
flop? Did you like it? Who's your favorite Kardashian? I was going to say favorite character. Who's your favorite Kardashian at this point? How do we feel about Courtney and her enlightenment
Yeah.
and her happiness, and revealing toxic relationships and shading Scott here and there? How do we feel about Scott being kind of sad sometimes? Should he just leave the Kardashian family because you know he needs some happiness?
Right.
Should Chloe get a boo? That would be fun.
Now that would be a headline.
Yeah, with Michelle Marone. Is he married?
He is married. No, he is not.
That is a perfect.
Yeah. Do it, Chloe.
Do it. Do it for us,
Yeah.
please. Do it for us.
Yeah.
Are we tired of seeing Kim? I actually think I am. I actually think I am tired of her. I'm like, girl, I'm tired. Just relax.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to see North next season, to be honest.
Dang.
You know what? I'm gonna end it there. Let us know what you think about this season, okay, guys?
Yep.
So if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. We had a huge surge of subscribers these last few days. So thank you guys. Please continue sharing our videos. We greatly appreciate it because your friends could be our friends. We could all be friends.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty cool peeps. We keep it real. We're pretty insightful, and we can talk crap.
Yeah.
You have everything here. We also have social media, which Dee'll tell you about.
We're on TikTok and Instagram at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys follow, like, share, comment. We enjoy interacting with you guys, and feedback is hilarious a lot of the time. We don't take ourselves so serious, guys. So,
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the comments sting, like the way North was just ranking on people. It's all in good spirit. I'll just laugh it off like 3 days later. I'll be like, can you believe they said that about us? But we appreciate it. We love having these conversations with you
yeah,
guys. And sometimes you bring a different perspective, which,
right.
we kind of bring it back into the channel and talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's always good to have, the differing perspectives and
Mhm.
everything. It helps us to also like evolve, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, Courtney. I think that concludes
Oh,
today's episode. We'll see you next time. We don't know when the Kardashians are premiering, but we needed this break. All
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Go have some fun, guys. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.